Now at 9, Missouri lawmakers advance a bill that would ban texting while driving for everyone. Plus a story of how quick thinking from healthcare professionals helped save the life of a fellow employee having a heart attack. Plus,
the NTSB releases its initial findings on the toxic train derailment. I'm Mike Tobin in East Palestine, Ohio. The details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Drivers in Missouri could be banned from texting while driving no matter the age. If the bill passes, Missouri would join a growing list of states with similar laws. KOAM Jean Haldala has more.
The Missouri Senate advanced a bill that could ban drivers, regardless their age, from reading, sending, or writing a text on handheld devices. Missouri State Highway Patrol Corporal Sam Carpenter says distracted driving is a big factor in fatal and injury crashes.
If you look down at your phone and you're driving 55 miles an hour, you're covering the distance of a football field in just a matter of a few seconds.
Currently, anyone under 22 years old is not allowed to text. If caught, they can be stopped and given a citation.
It becomes tricky in us knowing how old the driver is. The bottom line is just being on your cell phone while you're driving is incredibly dangerous.
Carthage resident Steve Barlow says he's witnessed several drivers texting and would prefer the ban for all.
It would be very vital because there are a lot of collisions and accidents and fatalities.
Carol Green agrees.
Texting while you're driving is like cooking dinner while you're driving. You can't concentrate on what you're responsible to do, which is to be safe on the road. We don't do that much traveling around here. It's 20 minutes maximum to any place you're going to go.
The ban would not apply to law enforcement or individuals using hands-free voice-activated mode.
There's no text that's so important that it's worth giving up your life for. We've seen those. We've seen fatal car crashes, and we've seen what the last message was on their phone. And it's never worth dying for.
Reporting in Carthage, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
The bill was approved with bipartisan support in the Senate Transportation, Infrastructure, and Public Safety Committee. It goes to the next full Senate for debate and vote. Chief Meteorologist Doug Cady joins us with a first look at the weather.
Well, it actually turned out to be a much colder day for us today, but we had the sunshine, so it wasn't too bad for February. High temp 41, normal highs 52, so a good chunk below where we should be for this time of the year. Pretty much clear skies, not a whole bunch is going on here. We do have some showers just to our south across northern parts of Arkansas. These are going to stay just off to our south and to our east. So we are going to stay on the dry side tonight, also the cold side. Look at our temps. We're mid to upper 20s. It's 25 in Nevada, 30 in Neosho, 30 in Miami. Parsons is sitting at 27. So temperatures, they're going to drop back as we go through the overnight hours. We'll drop all the way down into lower 20s. We'll rebound to about 31 by 10 a.m. A lot more clouds for us tomorrow. We do have some showers as we head into the weekend. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
The quick response time of a doctor at Freeman Health System saved the life of another employee. Freeman Health System shares this story in recognition of American Heart Month. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
When Rick Moore, the capital acquisition coordinator for Freeman Health System, was feeling anxious, lightheaded, and suffering from acid reflux pain, he drove to Freeman Urgent Care in Webb City to get checked out.
Took some medicine and nothing. It didn't go away, didn't subside. Only it got worse. And that was around noon. So about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, as the pain is progressing, I'm getting a chest pain in my shoulder blade, kind of lightheaded.
After an EKG at the clinic, the doctor told him he was having a heart attack. Specifically, Moore was in the early stages of a deadly heart attack. His heart's main left arteries were fully blocked.
I wake up in intensive care, and I'd had 2 stents. I had a 100% blockage, a 90% blockage, and a balloon in another artery.
Dr. Darwin Gerayaj says Moore's heart stopped beating.
So one good option under those circumstances is to just cough. So we turn around to Rick and say, Rick, can you please cough? And he's staring at me like, why is he asking me to cough? But after a while, he started coughing.
The doctor says Moore deciding to get checked out ultimately saved his life.
But in Rick's case, he was here so quick, and we had fixed everything very fast, so his recovery was really instant.
Reporting in Joplin, Segun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Only 12% of people who suffer a widowmaker heart attack outside of the hospital survive. It's National FFA Week and McDonald County schools are celebrating with a luncheon. FFA stands for Future Farmers of America. Today, FFA students were treated to a lunch in the high school AG building to thank them for all their hard work.
It gives us a chance to meet the new transfers into our ag program, meet some of the students we hadn't quite met yet, and it's the unofficial kickoff for our contest season.
All this week, FFA students have been taking part in different dress-up events, including a flannel shirt day, dress up as their future career, and wearing all blue. Today is Wood Product Manufacturing Day in the Kansas Technology Center at Pitt State. The event is hosted by the university's Wood Tech program. The event features company presentations, industry networking, and product showcasing. It's a way to connect students with employers in the field with internships and jobs.
Well, recruitment of getting students here to our facility has been more of a struggle than getting jobs for our students. This is just a very small portion of the companies that are wanting to recruit our students. We have students that are companies that call, email constantly, and recruit our students. So the students have lots of opportunities once they graduate here.
The event also introduces high school students to the industry and shows available career opportunities. The National Transportation Safety Board on Wednesday wrapped up its on-scene investigation into the Norfolk Southern train derailment and released its initial findings yesterday in a preliminary report. Fox News senior correspondent Mike Tobin is in East Palestine, Ohio, with more on what may have led to the devastating train derailment.
The crew operating the Norfolk Southern train received a critical warning about an overheated axle only moments before it was involved in the toxic derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. The National Transportation Safety Board's preliminary report showing the train's axle was heating up as the train got closer to the crash site, but didn't reach the threshold for triggering the alarm until right before the derailment.
Upon passing the third detector with a temperature of 253 degrees above ambient, a critical audible alarm message sounded, instructing the crew to slow and stop the train to inspect the hot axle.
NTSB officials focusing on car 23, where the combination of plastic pellets and the hot axle ignited a fire. And while they haven't narrowed down the possible causes of overheating, investigators ruled out any issues with the tracks and crew.
We have no evidence that the crew did anything wrong.
Meanwhile, as the Biden administration faces mounting criticism over the federal response to the derailment, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg surveyed the site Thursday, almost 3 weeks after dozens of freight cars, including 11 carrying hazardous materials, went off the tracks, contaminating the air, ground, and water.
Norfolk Southern will pay for this remediation, and the federal administration will be here to hold them accountable for that and make sure that they are making this community whole.
The NTSB chair announced that the agency will hold a rare investigative field hearing to learn more about the derailment. In East Palestine, Ohio, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
Coming up, there's an ongoing shortage of ADHD medication like Adderall. We'll learn what some families are doing to cope. An RSV vaccine could be available to use by August. Pharmaceutical company Pfizer's newly developed vaccine was made to prevent critical cases of the virus. Research shows RSV is the highest cause for infant hospitalizations. A single vaccine dose given to pregnant women will protect infants from birth to 6 months old. In an effort to speed up the review process before RSV's peak season, the Food and Drug Administration is reportedly set to approve the first vaccine of its kind by late summer. An unrestricted additive in bread could make a silent killer. Food experts say potassium bromate, an additive banned in other countries but not in the U.S., may be causing avoidable illnesses such as cancer. The ingredient is used in the bread to help strengthen the dough, but is suspected in being a carcinogen internationally. The FDA says additives such as potassium bromate are used to keep food safe or slow spoilage and must be, quote, supported by science. It's been more than 4 months since the since the U.S. Food and Drug Administration first announced a national Adderall shortage, and now many patients are dealing with the consequences. The medication is used to help mitigate the symptoms of ADHD. Chris Wynn shares how one family is coping.
Clara Pitt says Adderall changed her life for the better.
It was just like as if anyone's worn glasses and you go around with dirty glasses, you get used to it and you don't realize that they're dirty. But when you clean them off, having that extra bit of clarity makes a world of difference.
Now she's one of many Americans dealing with the shortage. The FDA says one reason is that demand for Adderall has gone up from 35.5 million prescriptions in 2019 to 45 million last year. But some manufacturers have yet to clarify what issues they're having, and experts say that's part of the problem.
It's really difficult to be able to anticipate and let alone come up with meaningful solutions if you don't know what the problem is.
The FDA says it's helping however it can to increase supply, but pediatric psychologist Benjamin Fields says anyone looking for the drug should talk to their doctors.
There's other stimulant medications too, and they could talk about whether there's options that their medical provider thinks would be appropriate.
Clara did just that, but says it wasn't an easy decision, and for her, it's not the same.
We didn't want to try a new medication in the middle of my stressful senior year because it's a medication that affects your mind.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, a local high school girls wrestling team aims to bring home the state championship. Jacob Leonard will have that and more in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a much colder day for us today, but we got the sunshine across the region, which is pretty good. A nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but we have pretty much clear skies right now, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. But look at this 36-hour temperature trend. We were near 70 yesterday. Today, we hung out into the 30s, so that is a huge switch across the region. In fact, right now it's 20 to almost 30 degrees colder, especially in southwestern parts of Missouri compared to this time last night. So let's go ahead, zoom in. 25 Nevada, 30 in Monette, 32 in Anderson, Grand Lake 32, Pittsburgh 28, Neodesha is sitting at 26. We have these light kind of northerly winds which are ushering in that cooler air. Outside sitting at 29, northerly winds at about 10 to 15. Humidity is at 58%. Through the overnight hours, it's going to be cold tonight. We drop back lower 20s, 27 by 11, 23 at 7 a.m., rebounding to about 30 by 10 a.m. But not much is going on here. We have clear skies. We do have some showers just to our south and east, northern parts of Arkansas, southeastern parts of Missouri. These are going to stay to our south, will not affect us. And besides that, not a whole bunch going on. We do have a weak wave down across the southern parts of the plains, and that will start to affect us late tomorrow heading into the weekend. Plus, our next storm system, or bigger system, is building out toward the west across the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast, which will affect us the second half of the weekend. All right, let's go through time. Look at this tonight. So down to about 15, Yates Center, 17 in Parsons. Everybody else kind of hangs out near 20 for an overnight low. Clouds increase tomorrow. We're going to warm up upper 30s to near 40 by noon. And then as we get into the afternoon, mid 40s, but a few random showers popping up. And our western counties may get a few sleet showers as it's a little bit colder hanging into the 30s. Not a big deal, just kind of hit and miss, little light showers, light little sleet showers lasting through tomorrow evening, and then most of these are gone by tomorrow night. As we go into Saturday, we could see a few more trying to pop up, especially late in the day, but a little bit warmer as we go into the 50s for highs by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. All right, here's your day planner. 23 in the morning, 36 by noon. We drop back to 41 by 5 p.m. High temp of 44. Again, we are going to see a few of those random showers popping up late in the day. We do warm back up, 57 on Saturday. Look at this, near 70 on Sunday. So a pretty big switch. We are going to get some thunderstorms Sunday night into Monday morning, but most of Monday looks pretty good. A wintry mix possible by next Thursday. So really just kind of all over the place over the next several days, but kind of chilly the next 48 hours.
Yeah, but as long as we get through the next 48, it
Yeah,
warms back
that looks
up
pretty
and
good.
it's beautiful again.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up, how to know when all those subscription services you have might be too many. Having a subscription for music, food, and even medication can be helpful, but these monthly services become too many. Your pockets might even be the ones that start getting hit. Fox's Stephanie Bertini has more.
Subscriptions.
Way too many. Yeah, especially with the price of all of them too. It's too much for anybody to have them all.
Individually, the prices may seem modest, but once you add it all together, it can be a hefty chunk out of the monthly budget. And keeping track can be an issue too. Some of you might not even know how many subscriptions you actually have.
I find more that I don't know what my kids subscribe to, and then I'm paying for it.
These two women own a handbag business together, and they say while it can be excessive, subscriptions can make life easier.
We're working mothers. So like we're life on the fly. That's exactly what we do. We're like always boom, 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 boom. It's like sometimes it's like, yeah, it's not the perfect thing. You get your credit card bill and then you change it.
But how much is too much?
Streaming, for example, there are so many different options from Netflix to Amazon and so on. BMW thinking about subscriptions for their cars. You have that. You have subscriptions for food delivery. You have subscriptions for Uber if you want one. I think there's just too many of them.
Raguru Mayangar is a professor of marketing at the University of Pennsylvania.
Every company wants to have some sort of endless number of transactions with customers. And what's a good way of doing that? Get them on subscriptions.
And even if you find you might want to thin out the subscriptions you pay for, there might be one or a few you just can't live without.
Apple Music, definitely. Netflix, Hulu.
Mostly HBO Max. That's my go-to.
If you've been thinking about getting a Costco membership, this discount might be for you. Marketplace Stack Social is selling a 1-year Costco Gold Star membership. The purchase includes a $30 digital Costco shopping card. The Gold Star membership is $60 per year, the discount essentially cutting that price in half. There's an end in sight to sky-high egg prices. The USDA's chief economist says wholesale egg prices will fall about 30% this year. The price of a dozen eggs was up 150% in January from a year ago to $4.80 a dozen, according to the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The USDA says egg production will increase 4% this year to almost 9.5 billion dozen, and the number of egg-laying chickens will bounce back. Coming up, how a new bride and groom started off their married life by getting stuck in an elevator. A newlywed couple starts off their first few hours of married life stuck inside a broken elevator. Panav and Victoria Jha, along with some members of their wedding party, got stuck in between floors of a North Carolina hotel elevator for 2 hours on Sunday. The Charlotte Fire Department responded to the call, hoisting people from the top of the elevator and to safety. No injuries were reported, and the bride and groom got to enjoy some extra unexpected guests at their party. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The city of Pittsburgh hosts a community meeting to discuss the beautification of the city, plus details on a fatal plane crash near the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock, Arkansas. Pittsburgh kicks off a citywide cleanup initiative led by Mayor Ron Segley. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to community members about their ideas on how they can improve the city.
The city of Pittsburgh held a community conversation to discuss how to improve the city's cleanliness and other solutions.
We've got a lot of folks turning up this evening, and much more than I expected. We obviously have a lot of interest in people.
Residents, organizations, and community leaders sat in groups and were told to think of ideas and solutions to improve Pitt.
Split it up into various areas. That way everybody would identify with a certain area, and that way we can get ideas more specific to that area than rather general to the whole city.
Animal control, homelessness management, and better trash disposal were the biggest talking points from all groups, all factors to create a respectable community.
Well, I guess one thing I did write on a sticky note was
whenever you have a clean community, when people that live here and when people come to visit, they will literally point out, wow, this is a clean community. I mean, I do that whenever I go places. And I just think that's one of the best compliments your city can get.
Riley is a part of Pittsburgh State University student government and is actively empowering the student body to positively impact the community.
This community cares about our university so much that they want to represent all the time, and the big event that we do gives them a reason to want to support us every year, aside from football and basketball.
This community discussion is just the start. The city of Pittsburgh is planning another discussion next month. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
PSU students are also planning a Help the Community event on April 1st. Joplin's Dream Theater Troupe is preparing for their latest production, Firebringer. It's a comedy set at the dawn of humanity focused on the tribe of cave people trying to survive. One of the tribe members goes on a quest to become the Firebringer.
How funny the show is. It's so funny. It's not one of those serious shows, which are good, but you come here and you get to laugh and you get to have fun and you realize, wow, these jokes are very weird, but they're just as funny as like modern day jokes.
Performances of Firebringer will be on March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th starting at 7:30 p.m. General admission tickets will cost $20. This performance is for mature audiences only. The U.S. could default on its debt as soon as June, according to a Washington think tank. The debt default could take place if Congress doesn't act to lift the debt limit. The Bipartisan Policy Centers says the country will reach its statutory debt limit as soon as summer of early fall of 2023. The December 2022 spending bill, high interest rates, and an extended pause on repayments of student loans are all set to be contributing factors. A twin-engine plane crashed after takeoff near the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock, Arkansas yesterday. All 5 people on board the twin-engine Beech B-200 airplane passed away. Desmond Nugent has more.
Fire trucks and multiple agencies filled the 3M plant after a small plane crashed nearby.
We couldn't see it because it went down. It went down from we couldn't see it. But we knew that the plane was coming down. We just didn't know exactly where it was going to hit.
Sanders watched the plane before it crashed. CTEH, a Central Arkansas-based environmental firm, confirms 5 of its employees were leaving the Clinton International Airport heading to Ohio, aiding in Monday's deadly explosion at a metals plant.
All of a sudden I heard a big boom and a big red fire came up. Black smoke went up in there. And I told my friends, come back, let's look, man. There's something bad in here to man.
Sanders says they asked the city of Little Rock to purchase the land near East 38th Street 20 years ago, hoping an incident like this wouldn't be so close by.
It's kind of scary, pretty scary. Most everybody in the neighborhood is very concerned about a plane falling that close to our home. Been looking for something like this to happen. I don't know if we're going to be at home at night, or we might be in the bed, or wherever we might be when this happens.
A bit later, Alec Murdaugh defends himself.
Alec Murdaugh takes the stand in his own defense at his double murder trial. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today, but at least we got to see the sunshine across the region. We have clear skies for you right now. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But it's going to get cold tonight. Look at our past 36 hours. It's kind of crazy. We were near 70 yesterday. Today, not so much. We only made it in the afternoon into the mid-30s for highs. In fact, our 24-hour temperature changed 25 to 30 degrees colder right now, especially in southwestern parts of Missouri. Look at our temps going down 22 in Yates Center, 26 in Independence. Lamar is sitting at 28 degrees. We have 31 in Anderson. Jay, Oklahoma, sitting at about 32 degrees. We can go outside, 7th and Range Line, currently sitting at 29. Northerly winds, still a little breezy, so it gives us a little bit of a wind chill. It makes it feel just a little bit colder than what it actually is. Actual temperature drops back to about 21. Later on tonight, clouds increase through the daytime hours tomorrow. We're going to start with sunshine, but those clouds are going to thicken up as we go through the day. All right, clear skies here. We do have some showers northern parts of Arkansas. These are going to stay south and east of us, but we do have a weak little wave down across parts of Texas, and that will try to bring us at least a random shower or two late tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Bigger system out toward the west, that will start to affect us by the second half of the weekend. All right, let's go through time. Cold start. Look at this. 17 Parsons, 15 in Yates Center, down to 20 in Fort Scott. Everybody else lower 20s. Clouds increase throughout the day. Still chilly. We only go into the upper 30s by noon. A few spotty showers start to pop up late in the day. Most of us are going to be in low to mid 40s. Spotty showers stick around tomorrow night. Our northern counties could see a little bit of sleet mixing in, and then any showers that do pop up, these are going to be gone by Saturday morning. Then most of Saturday, it's just kind of cloudy. Temperatures a little bit better as we go into the 50s for highs. So here's your day planner: 23 to start, 36 by noon. High temp 44. We back down to 41 by 5 p.m. Our bigger system starts to roll in late Sunday. So let's go to 4 p.m. Some showers start to pop up. Thunderstorms roll in Sunday night. These are gone by Monday morning. And then we get a couple really nice days. Temperatures sitting into the 60s. And then here comes our next storm system late Thursday into Friday. This could be a rain over to snow event. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. 44 tomorrow, 57 on Saturday, near 70 on Sunday, 65 Monday. Nice stretch of 60s all the way through the middle of next week, and then it turns quite a bit colder with that storm system late next week. But it's going to be chilly tomorrow, but at least by the weekend we're starting to warm back up.
Yeah, the weather we're going to see over the next 7 days or so, I'll take that as...
Yeah, overall, not bad.
Compared to the rest of the country, we're pretty lucky.
That's true.
All right, a massive winter storm is sweeping across the country, threatening 76 million people in 26 states. In some places, temperatures are 40 degrees below the average for the day. An ice storm further east forced nearly 5,000 flights to be canceled or delayed yesterday. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern women aim to sweep the season series from the Washburn Ickabox. Plus, the Chanute Blue Comets tried to bring home a wrestling state championship. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, today is state championship day for girls high school wrestling in Kansas. In the small school state tournament in Salina, we have some local individuals and teams bringing home some hardware. Starting in the third place matches, Chanute got freshman Kylie Dillo here, wrestling for third against Hannah Simmers from Atchison County. Turned out to be a big one. First period takedown gets Dillo a 2-0 lead. Then in the second period, it's 3-0. The freshman gets two more with the takedown. That was all she needed. Dillo runs out the clock, wins a 5-0 decision. She takes third individually, and that win clinched the state title for Chanute as a team. That was before the finals even started. Now her teammate Brinley Bancroft in the finals at 155 pounds, facing defending champion Allison King from Oskaloosa. A reversal for King early in the second, 2-0 lead, and eventually that leads to this. King wins by pin for back-to-back state championships, so Bancroft finishes as state runner-up for Chanute. Now, Columbus has two girls in the finals today. Grace Knoll, 100 pounds, facing undefeated Sheena Gosella from Winfield. Quick takedown for Gosella, then she nearly has Knoll pinned toward the end of the first period. Gosella would get the win by fall early in the second period to finish off an undefeated season. So Grace Knoll for Columbus, the 100-pound state runner-up for the Titans. 120 pounds here, Addie Saporito for Columbus faces two-time defending champion Kendra Hurla out of Rossville. Early takedown for Saporito, but Hurla responds. Quick escape, then a takedown of her own to take the lead. After losing a hold, Saporito ties it back up at 4 with her second takedown. Now, this one really good, but Hurla wins a 9-5 decision for her third straight championship. Saporito is the runner-up at 120 pounds. It's her third consecutive state medal. Erie's Brianna Ross ranked first here, but Chapman freshman Alyssa Kolovich takes the lead 2-0, 40 seconds into this thing. Now, Ross would escape to end the round, but that 2-1 score holds. It's a runner-up finish for Erie's Brianna Ross. Well, this week is the final week of the regular season for Pitt State of Missouri Southern basketball. Both are in action tonight on the road for conference doubleheaders. PSU is in Emporia, taking on the Emporia State Hornets. On the women's side, Gorillas try to sweep the season series after beating ESU by 21 in Pittsburgh in January. Pitt State wins this one by 10, 70-60. Freshman Harper Schreiner scores 17 to lead PSU. Brenna Gerber and Tristan Gagg also in double figures. And after that one, the Pitt State men hit the floor against the Hornets, trying for back-to-back wins for the first time since November. And check this out. RJ Forney gets a layup in the final seconds to give the Gorillas a 1-point win, 68-67. Forney finishes with 19. Marquis English, another double-double, 16 points and 11 rebounds. As for the Missouri Southern Lions, they're in Topeka tonight, taking on the Washburn Ichabods. On the women's side, Missouri Southern enters the night ranked 6th in the Central Region with a 22-6 overall record. Now, they beat Washburn by 16 when they met in Joplin back in January. Tonight, Southern rolls again, 71-56. Big night for sophomore guard Mia Topping. She scores a career-high 23 points. The Missouri Southern men face the Ichabods after that. Southern a tough night, falling 84-64. Sam Thompson leads the Lions with 15 points. So busy day of wrestling, busy day of basketball, but congratulations to all those who medaled at state. We had a bunch of 14, I think, local girls in Southeast Kansas medaled today at state, so not a bad day.
Oh, wow, and an overall team state championship as well.
For sure.
Lots of hard work that paid off over the course of the season.
Chanute has a good thing going over there. They've had it on girls and boys side for a little bit now.
Oh, yeah, I could see it. All right, we're back with more after this. Alec Murdahl, the former South Carolina lawyer accused of murdering his wife and son, took the witness stand today. He admitted to lying to the police, but insisted he did not kill his family. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has details.
Did you shoot a 300 blackout into her head, causing her death?
Mr. Griffin, I didn't shoot my wife or my son anytime.
In front of the jury, disbarred attorney Alec Murdahl repeatedly denied the double murder allegations against him, but admitted he lied when he told investigators he was taking a nap while his wife and son were at the family kennels.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth!
The lie exposed by multiple trial witnesses, close family friends who identified the defendant's voice in the background of this video his son Paul took at the kennels just minutes before he and his mother Maggie were fatally shot.
Why did you lie to Agent Owen, Agent Croft, and Deputy Rutland about the last time you saw Maggie and Paul?
As my addiction evolved over time, I would get in these situations or circumstances where I would get paranoid thinking.
Today, Murdahl admitted he stole money from clients to fund his opioid dependency.
How long have you been drug-free?
535 days.
But he refuted the prosecution's theory that he committed the 2021 murders to create a distraction as his law firm began to question his workplace finances.
On June the 7th, did you believe that your financial house of cards was about to crumble?
On June the 7th?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely not.
The defendant became emotional on the stand as he described his wife and son when they were alive and the moment he found their bodies when he returned to the kennels.
My boy's laying face down. He's done the way he's done. His head was the way his head was. I could see his brain laying on the sidewalk. I didn't know what to do.
During cross-examination, the prosecution tried to suggest Murdahl took advantage of his prominent position in the community. On the night his son Paul allegedly caused a fatal boat wreck, Murdahl was seen wearing a badge he'd obtained during a previous volunteer position with the local prosecutor's office.
A badge has a warming effect with other law enforcement. And so if I was seeking any advantage, as you say, then I guess that would be what it was.
The prosecution hammered Murdahl over his alleged financial misdeeds until court adjourned for the day. Cross-examination is expected to resume Friday morning. In Atlanta, Jonathan Sering, Fox News.
The war in Ukraine is about to enter its second year, and Russia may be seeking help from China. That country's top diplomat met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow yesterday. Putin said he is looking forward to a visit from Chinese President Xi Jinping, and U.S. officials are believed to be concerned about China's closer ties to Russia. Coming up, how some students in Texas went viral on TikTok in hopes to get help from their janitor to make them live comfortably. Some students in Texas gave their school janitor the gift of a lifetime: retirement. They raised more than $200,000 for him. Reporter Braille Brown has more.
It's just so sad seeing an 80-year-old man having to do things that no 80-year-old person should have to do.
3 seniors at Callisburg High School noticed a need within their school's community and quickly responded. They noticed Mr. James, a retired Callisburg resident who had to come out of retirement and become their school's custodian last month due to the rise in cost of living in recent months.
Just crazy to see something that, we knew people would want to help, but we didn't know it would blow up.
A single TikTok video posted by Callisburg senior Grayson Thurman showing Mr. James cleaning the halls. Attached with the video, a GoFundMe aiming to help Mr. James continue to live comfortably.
Like 2,000 followers, which that's enough to get the word out there.
Raising $10,000 in 12 hours, most of the donations coming from students.
And I said, but in a good way. They're like, well, what's going on that's so good? And I told them, oh, that's your school. It's just amazing, of the need that was met because of 3 kind kids, but of all of our students who have pitched in to help that need.
The GoFundMe has received over 500 donations in the last 2 days, and it is nearly at $29,000 as of Friday afternoon. Students remain hopeful that they can continue to raise money and their acts of kindness will remind others of the good still in the world.
That just shows you the power of social media. Well, and that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of corgis in Minnesota playing in the snow. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.